The sun is setting. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to let your husband pick your next read, I would say. That's what we'll be doing. I'm going to have him choose between 3 of my most anticipated new releases. We, of course, have Great Big Beautiful Life, and then we have Our Infinite Fates, and The Conditions of Will, which I must admit I've never read. A Jessa Hastings book. I tried to read Magnolia Parks, and I don't recall anything of what I read or why I stopped reading it, because it was like a few years ago, probably right when I started getting back into reading, and so it was just a bit much for me, I guess. But I want to try this. The cover really intrigued me. It is beautiful, however, I do wonder if it will have anything to do with the story. Our Infinite Fates, I do have to show this off. It is so beautiful. The inside of this hardcover. You're joking.
Here we go. The Conditions of Will.
It's in the front.
I feel like I read the whole book. All right, thank you.
You said you felt like you read the whole book?
Yeah, I feel like I read the whole book. That was a long one. Oh my gosh, is this it?
I was about to say they're all like that. She was the stuff of legend. In case you have a thought.
Thank you.
I don't like your favorite.
I skipped to the bottom. I don't know about that one.
Okay. I'm sure you'll appreciate how short that one is.
Yes, I can. And the big font.
So this one's out?
That one's out. I don't understand the picture versus what the description was on that one. She looks like Jesus.
I know.
I like this one.
Okay. Why?
Because it's better than the other two.
What do you like about it?
I like that I could actually figure out what it was talking about. I like this one.
Okay. Well, we'll do then. See the gold?
Oh, I love that. I hope it's a good one.
So you can read it?
Nope. Just for your sake, baby.
Why didn't you like this one?
What's it even about? She's an optimist.
Is it because they give like so many descriptions on like the kind of person that they are before they're like, this is what the book is about?
Maybe. Like somebody dug up a thesaurus for that one. Pulitzer Prize woman, human thundercloud.
It's wordy.
Yeah, it don't make any sense.
She likes to paint a picture.
She ain't no artist. I'm not very interested in that though.
Oh, okay. So you're just more interested in this one.
Yeah, 1000%.
Hello. I did just kind of want to touch base. Last night I read about 40-ish pages using my new cute bookmark. This book doesn't do like chapter numbers, it does timelines. So don't know what chapter I'm on, but I'm on page 37. I've been reading this book a little bit slower, I think, because of every time a timeline change, the character is a different person. So I'm only 37 pages in and she's already had 5 lives, just finished her 5th life, and it seems like the 2022 version of herself is gonna be one of the ones we stay on for longer, because we've already come back to this version of her twice. It's like hard to connect with the characters so far because they keep changing, and like although they're the same person. It takes her until around like her 18th birthday or around 10 and 11. That's when she starts to like get all her old memories back. But it's like we've already had multiple siblings and all these timelines and these family members that she's sad to leave. But it's hard to like connect to it because we just keep dying, because they are killing each other in every lifetime, and whether it's her killing him or him killing her, they're dying. I mean, it's only page 37 and we've had 5 lives. And it's so confusing because in each timeline they get a new name, but then internally they refer to the other person as their new name and their original name. So I keep like forgetting the main characters' names because they've had 5 names already. I know his is Arden, because we're in our main character's point of view, but I cannot for the life of me remember her name. Her name's Evelyn. Evelyn and Arden. That's their actual names. I'm just not even gonna, I'm gonna try to remember that. Their names keep changing and it's really hard for me. Like, I don't know why, but this is like, it's hard for me to get into with the changing lives. I was really into one of their lives because it was their lifetime where they were in Russia in the 1980s. I was really into this one, and I feel like it showed that they actually do love each other, because up until this point I was like, it kind of just seems like a cat and mouse game and they're not actually in love and forced to kill each other. You see what I'm saying? But in that one, he almost doesn't kill her because he's like, I love you and this life is unfair. And I was like, okay. So there is something there, because so far it was almost like whenever you're watching a movie and it does a sequence of like killings where they're just going through and they're just killing people left and right, almost humorous. That's kind of what it's felt like, because they were talking about some of their most famous like deaths, and one of them was, he was like, I bet you couldn't do that again, and it was like she shot him through the eye and killed him. And so it kind of felt like that, because they were just renaming ways that they've killed each other, and I'm like, okay. But in like these other lives, they're not really showing their connection. It's just, he's coming for me. Is it because y'all fallen out of love, having to do this so many times? Like, what's the reason? But that one, like, it did give something. And maybe I'm just kind of overanalyzing it in like the beginning of the book. I'm not, because they've already lived like 5 lives so far. So that's my update. I am gonna carry this around with me today, so I'm gonna take it back to work with me, and if I get a free moment, I will whip it out, and then whenever I go to my gym class, I will read it while I wait. First things first, look at how cute. Updated the pillows, refresh. Last night I got into the 200 range, so I probably have about between 80 and 90 pages left. I accidentally left my book at work, but I'm going to read the rest of it today for sure. But I did just want to update you guys on kind of like how I've been feeling. So I know originally I said that I couldn't really get attached to the characters, and honestly, I would say that I'm not even really attached to them. I more so just want to know what's going on. It has slowly taken over the thriller mentality for me, and I'm really just trying to solve this mystery, because I just, like, I'm not understanding why this is happening, obviously. Like, why are we being reincarnated over and over again into different people? Arden keeps saying, like, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing this for us, but I just don't trust him, because neither one of them benefits from being reincarnated. So, or at least like our main character whose head we're in, Evelyn, like she gets nothing from this arrangement other than the fact that she gets to live essentially forever, being kind of basically immortal, except for when he kills her. But it's like, at what cost? Because the story that I thought was their original timeline, that wasn't even that was 600 years after the earliest timeline we've seen, which was in, I think it was like 1024. You're joking. Like, that was, it kind of seems like that might have just been the first timeline where they fell in love. However, I cannot say that for sure. I don't know. I did not finish the book. But we have seen some instances where they weren't always in love. So it's interesting to see, because in every timeline, like, they may be a boy or a girl, they may do whatever, but either way, like, I think it's really beautiful that at the end of the day they love each other based on their soul. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of body they're in, regardless of anything, it's just their soul that they're attracted to. Because there's been some lifetimes where one of them has been literally blind and they still find their way to each other without seeing or sensing, like, basically just sensing the essence of that other person and feeling a strong connection to them. And I think that's really beautiful. However, I think this is the problem. Okay, so in present day, which I'm assuming is 2022, we've spent the most time there. It is the only story we have returned to. So present day, it has been 3 days, and I'm more than halfway through the book. I have, like I said, maybe 90 pages left. It's only been 3 days in that timeline, and then the rest of the book is spanning thousands of years of lifetimes where they either were in love or in like, or whatever it may be. There are some timelines where they don't even talk to each other and they just snipe the other one out, you know? So it's interesting because it seems like Evelyn, regardless of the timeline, she always lives life to the fullest, and she makes the most of her family and the connections, and she always loves them so deeply. But Arden's gotten to the point where the second he can, he distances himself from his family, and every timeline he's estranged from them so that he doesn't have to feel or get close to them. I will say there was a cringe moment for me that I was just, I don't know. Show don't tell. You do not have to tell me that he is the villain and that his moral compass is not necessarily turned correctly. I don't know. There's literally lines in the book where, I'm paraphrasing, but there's literally a conversation that they have, and he's like, well, if the hero is someone who will sacrifice themselves to save the world, a villain is someone who will sacrifice everyone to save the people that they love. And she's like, so you're saying you're a villain? And he's like, ew. Like, I don't know. It was giving very, like, Wattpad, if you will. I don't know. I was not a fan. It's not even been said just one time. It has been said twice. It has been said twice and referenced to quite a few times. Like, I remember they were having an argument, and Evelyn was literally like, oh, is this you being the villain? Is this you being the villain? And I'm like, why are we, like, girl, like, just let him be evil, let him be morally gray, and I guarantee you, as a reader, we will pick up on it. And if we don't, when it comes time to whatever that final action will be, if there is going to be a big, like, evil moment, something that defines them as a character, I guarantee you the reader will look back at all those instances where he was being low-key evil and be like, wow, I can't believe I overlooked that. That's amazing. Like, good job. Like, you fooled me. Teehee. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's very on the nose with some of the things that she's saying, and I just, show don't tell, please. But other than that, it is going fairly well. To me, I've just gotten to the point where I want to know, like, what's the reason? Why are we doing this? Why are we living these lifetimes? Why can he remember every single life and she can't? What's the reason? What are you hiding? The main plot of their current life in 2022 is she's trying to stay alive to her 18th birthday. Normally, they kill each other right before their 18th birthday. And She's wanting to stay alive because her sister in this lifetime has cancer, and she's the only person who's able to donate bone marrow. And she wants to stay alive to make sure that her sister is able to get this treatment and that she doesn't die just because she did. I'm very interested to see how this goes. I'm going to finish this today, and then I will report back. What's going on? I'm so ready to know. Okay, I just got out of the shower and I was finishing up. I literally have this much left, and I just feel this going down a certain path that I feel like I'm not gonna like. So let's finish reading this book together. See, this is what gets me. We're in the middle of an argument, and she goes, "This is a stalemate." Life on the line. "This is a stalemate." And then proceeds to say what it is. Give me a definition. That's crazy. Thanks. Thank you for that. Oh my god, we're literally saying the hero and the villain thing again. I'll read it to you this time since I actually have the book in front of me. If a hero is someone who will give up love to save the world, then a villain is the reverse. Someone who will give up the world to save a love. Girl, this is the 5th time you've said that. I feel like we're just filling pages right now. Okay, now we're in the future. 2054. Yeah. Yeah. Good morning. I think I'm ready to talk about this. I did want to take some time to think about it and process my thoughts and what I was going to say about it, because in the moment I honestly just felt disappointed. Let's first talk about the good things about this book, because I feel like I do have more negative, if not critiques, constructive criticism, if you will. For starters, Laura Stevens is literally a poet. And when I say poet, I mean it quite literally. In between every chapter, there is a short poem that she has written. This book was compared to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I actually read right before this. And I do feel like that affects my rating, because that was the book that I just finished. And I gave it a 4 stars. And in the sense that this is a time-jumping book, they are immortal. Yes, you can compare it in that way. But the way it's written, no, you cannot. And now I'm going to move on to my constructive criticism, because that's really all I had to say that was positive. But The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, a lot of the situations that she was put in were very gut-wrenching. It made you feel sick, physically sick. You felt for her, you felt bad for her, you felt why she was so sad, how the day and monotony of life can get so lonely if nobody remembers you, and how tragic it is to remember every single interaction you've ever had, and not one person has remembered you. And you know how she did that? She followed the cardinal rule, the first rule, the most important rule of writing, which is show, don't tell. In this book, she proceeds to tell me how to feel the entire book. And that's a problem. She's telling me these two are star-crossed lovers. They love each other so much. She does not show me. I'm not seeing it. I don't really felt like I saw their love. It's I knew they were in love, but I didn't feel it. Every time they meet in their new timelines and present day, she talks about how it feels to see him again in whatever form he's taken, he or she. But talk about how it feels oh my god, I love him so much. There's this pull. We're meant to be together. He's I would know him anywhere. I feel him. I know it's him. I love him. Our love is eternal, never dying. It could never go away. I love you, I have loved you, and I will love you. That is what's constantly thrown in my face. That was this story's calls to if you will. Other than the fact that she got a fluttering in her stomach every time that she was ready to do the deed, there was no She didn't show me anything else. That was the most feeling that was evoked from this. And that's my biggest gripe with it. Like, was it beautifully written? Yes. I mean, like I said, Homegirl is literally a poet. You can randomly flip in and you're going to find a poem. And I mean, that's amazing. She's a wonderful, fantastic poet. These poems were great. I loved a little palette cleanser in between. Towards the end, I was more likely to skim them, but that's because I was feeling done with the book. My next gripe, and it's that they've known each other since 900 BC, before Christ. That's how long they've known each other. And now we're in the year 2022. 2022. And you're telling me, out of all those lifetimes, all those lives, in 2022, he finally decides to tell her why they are the way they are, what has been going on this whole time. Really? And I know she wants me to believe that it is because their love for her sister in this lifetime trumps all, and that it is the first time that he has felt this way for someone that, like, familial love. Like, it's the first time he's allowed himself to feel that in a really long time, and that was stronger than his need to keep this secret, whatever, and that really bonded them so that he could open up. But I don't buy it. I don't care. They have been playing this game since 900 BC. Before Christ, y'all. Before Christ. I just don't buy it. There was not enough of them showing me that he loved the sister. There was a few, like, flashback remembrances of him having coffee with them, watching movies. Okay, I do that with people I barely know. Like, you go over to someone's house and you're sitting there with their parents. I don't love them like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I understand that in this lifetime, like, because she's so broken by the loss of his sister and, like, leaving her mother alone, he might feel the need to ease her suffering by giving her what she wants, but he never has before, and she's loved as deeply in all these timelines. She has loved all her family members. She has treated them all the same, giving them that same closeness. In this situation, her sister just happened to be dying of cancer. Moving on to my next problem with this book. They paint Evelyn out to be, like, a very, like, selfless person, very giving, and they do that by showing us instances in the past where she has put her life on the line, put her safety on the line, gone out of her way to show that she cares, and instances like, to a complete stranger, she threw herself over this man being hit, but it was also Arden's father that she did that for, so not a complete stranger, not as selfless as we might think, although she didn't know it was him. During that timeline, she's talking about how she feels this pull to this person, and I don't feel like if it had been someone else, she would have thrown herself over their body to protect them and ended up dying. Honestly, because with random strangers, we're not seeing any of this selfishness. And maybe that's the point. She kept talking about the hero-villain timeline, and a villain gives up the world to save their loved ones. She did that quite a bit, actually. We never really saw the selflessness with strangers, although they want us to believe that she's like this big hero, which is fine. That didn't bother me. Just the concept of the ending of the book did. And now we are getting into spoiler territory. I'm going to finish some final thoughts here so that if you have read the book, you can continue. But all in all, I did give this book 2 stars. 2 stars. And if I had rated it right when I finished, I would have gave it a 3 to be nice, but I feel like I have very valid criticisms of this book. I have to give it a 2 stars. Now, I am about to tell the biggest spoiler of the book, so feel free to click off. I'll give you a couple seconds. Insert Jeopardy music. Okay, now, the big mystery of it all, the big mystery, the big M, the elephant in the room, We spent this entire book being, I can't tell you, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not doing it. Sorry. Why would I do that? No, I'm not telling you. We did that for thousands and thousands of years. And finally tells us the payout was not good enough. It was not the big mic drop that she thought it was. I feel like she was trying to do that thing that authors often do in the first book in a series, but this is a standalone. So it didn't work. She saved the big reveal for the last 40 pages, but at that point I'm just pissed off, and it doesn't make sense that he would finally divulge this information after thousands of years, and when he does, it's not enough. That was my earlier thought. I was like, they're not benefiting, and they're not. But what they are doing is refusing work because Evelyn is actually the devil. The devil. That's no. And I know that they want you, like, this is supposed to be a big shock because Evelyn is so pure. She's so selfless. She would never, she couldn't be the devil. They made you think it was Arden the whole time. Oh my gosh. No. It just didn't do it for me. It was not a big enough reveal. The whole meeting with the mother thing, it was very lackluster. The conflict lasted for like 10 pages, and then it was like, we're free. Literally, towards the end, it's like, I've killed the mother. Plot twist, I didn't kill the mother. She's actually getting stronger. JK killed the mother with the power of love. They killed the mother with the power of love. That's my review for this book. I feel like I've talked about it enough. I've given you all my gripes. Our Infinite Fates. It was an interesting time. I was curious about the mystery, but then I was let down. The ending could have saved my rating, but it didn't. And that's okay. Now, if you are interested in reading this book and you do like lyrical writing and you are a big fan of poems, this might be the book for you. This might be the book for you. The past and present timeline thing, like it does create an air of mystery that is fun to figure out. However, that's all I've got for you.